may actually be the future of alternative fuels for Florida. So those are just 3 ideas of new revenue. I'm trying to be as brief as I can. Florida.
Okay, thank you. I like coming after Julio. He's hitting all the exact points that I've considered and talked about with other people, but specifically is the alternative energy. Now, Florida has a lot of possibilities in alternative energy. The first one you might consider would be wind. We're actually, if you look, there's a data chart that says there's certain ratings that we have in the state of Florida that wind is really not a possibility for alternative energy. We get a rating of 1, sometimes 2, right around the coastline, but you really need a rating of 3 or above to generate viable wind energy. Solar is the way to go. Germany in itself is, and it's not really Germany, you know, if you're thinking of like, oh, let's go get some sun, let's go to Germany. Germany is not exactly known for its sun and beaches, but Germany is the leader in solar technology and solar use for electricity. Out of the 20 top solar producing plants, 15 are in Germany. So we really need to push our alternative energy. Solar is the way to go. We also need to upgrade our transmission lines. That's what part of the problem is. Our transmission lines are 40, 50 years old, 60 years old in some places. And the transmission lines are how, when we create electricity, how do we get it to your house? The lines, the power, all the stuff is called, I don't know if you want technical stuff about this. I used to be a flight engineer. Impedance in a line. This is how the electricity goes through the line, that the wire itself will actually start to slow down the electricity. That's why we need the substations all around the city. It helps when the power comes out, it boosts the power to your house. So we really need to get our transmission lines up and running and new technology.
All right, let's go to question 2 now. Giving you guys a second to think about it. Could you tell us what qualifies you to lead this district and why voting for you to be a state senator makes a difference to the voters of the district?
That question, I'm glad you went back to it. Very simple. When you are going to be a lawmaker, you should go through what I consider to be a process of government. Understand local government first, which I've served at the local level, because our issues in Tallahassee, believe it or not, at the end of the day are as grassroots as a local elected official. And if you're going to be a lawmaker, as you go through a process, it's like any kind of job that you're going to undertake, you should have some experience on how the process works and how it moves. I've been a member of the Florida House for 8 years, understand the process. Some of the new people that will get elected, you'll see that it takes 2 to 3 years just to understand how it works and how you build the camaraderie and get legislation passed. Biggest reason why I think I'm the most qualified is because I am a grassroots public servant. I do this 7 days a week. I'm not a consultant. I am not a lobbyist. By the way, this question brings us to a point whether we like it or not, we have to mention our opponents. My opponent just happens to be a lobbyist, representing over 20 clients in Tallahassee. If that's not a conflict, I don't know what is. You're either going to be a policymaker or you're going to be lobbying for special interests. Because when that vote comes down to the wire, who do you think they're going to vote for? Whoever's buttering your bread, or are they going to represent you? And I absolutely think it's horrible. Or I even tried to pass a law this year to stop that from being it should have been a prerequisite that you're not a lobbyist or a consultant if you're going to be a public servant. And the last thing is, I've been doing this for a long period of time. Remember, all politics are local. It's about listening. It's about being accessible. And I just tell everyone that really know me, look at the track record, look at the voting records of people, look what they voted for, look what they're about. And sometimes it may not even be the voting record. You may not agree with a couple of votes that they've taken, but are they responsive? Are they always going to be there for you? Are they going to respond? And where is it that they make their living? I am a 24/7 lawmaker. I do not lobby. I do not anything else. Actually took a leave of absence 8 years ago from my company. I worked as a technician for AT&T. Probably don't even know the newest technology anymore. But I enjoyed my time as a lawmaker, and I do it for you. I represent you, and I work for you, and I don't work for special interest groups.
Okay.
I think you'll hear a difference between Julio, the great politician that he is. I've known him for many years. And then
Public servant.
Public servant. Thank you.
That's a bad word.
Right, exactly.
Once in a word, right?
Thank you. I've never held political office. That is a good thing sometimes, because I've been on the receiving end of all the policies that have been brought down from Tallahassee. And sometimes I think, what are these people doing? I have to call it Planet Tallahassee, because sometimes the laws of physics and common sense just don't apply up there. There's many things that come down the pike and we go, why? But okay, we're teachers, we'll follow through, we'll do what we have to do, we'll get it done. I also have, on qualifications, I have a bachelor's degree in biology. I also have 2 advanced degrees. And one of them is in educational leadership, which is the same degree that you would need to be a principal or a superintendent. My opponent is, well, has been on I think it's the education policy for the House of Representatives. And then she became a representative. And then now she was the chair of the K-12 committee for the state of Florida. And just looking at the receiving end of this, and then what she was doing is, I don't know, offensive. She knows exactly what she was doing when she put down SB 6. This is all the teachers I've talked to, all the administrators, all the parents, the PTA meetings I've gone to and talked about this, and they said, you know what, yes, you should run for state senate, because we need somebody up there that's going to represent us, the people, the receiving end of all the policies that are coming down. And I'll stop right there.
Okay. How about the next one? Let's get down to some brass tacks. What is your opinion? Are you for state income tax for the state of Florida? Why or why not? If you're not for a Florida income tax, what other revenue generating taxes are you for? If not for any taxes, what specifically would you vote for?
I definitely am not in favor of any more taxes in the state of Florida. Let me be very clear. I think what we need to do is actually go after some of the tax breaks that have been given to the well politically connected. Those that have skyboxes, ostrich eggs, alligator farms, that kind of nonsense can probably bring us back almost $1 billion back in revenue. That's how I see this. And I've answered this question publicly many times. Listen, we as Floridians, when we talk to everyone, from the wealthiest to the poorest, everyone in concept says we must find sources of revenue. We're in agreement. But let's take away those that really are, again, politically connected with those type of tax breaks, and let's look at whatever we can to find new sources of revenue to work within this community in the state of Florida. But you can't put any more burdens on people's pockets anymore. They can't even afford to live here. What people tell me is, Mr. Representative, with all respect, between my power bill, the taxes, city, county, school board, state, and everything else, we can't even live in this community.
Sure.
So when I hear insurance, I forgot, how can I forget insurance? I spent my life fighting against the insurance industry. So I would hope that every candidate, those that will be up here in the hot seat shortly, you will really consider about putting any more taxes on Floridians. So now you know where I stand, sir.
Yes, sir.
No Florida tax. I mean, we can't afford an income tax. And the reason a lot of people moved there is because there was no income tax. This is why